the Easy Way podcast, where simple tips become real results. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Hello to everyone listening out there. Welcome back to another episode of the Easy Way podcast. I am Peter, and I am very happy to be here with you today.
Hi everyone, I am Bella. I am so excited for our conversation today because we have a very special topic. It is something that everyone needs to use every single day.
That is true. Today we are going to tell a story about meeting new people. We are going to learn how to answer that famous phrase, "Tell me about yourself."
It sounds simple, right? But actually it can be very difficult. When someone asks you to talk about yourself, do you know what to say? Or do you feel shy?
Oh, I definitely feel shy sometimes. Just yesterday, I had a very awkward experience. I met a new neighbor in the elevator, and I froze.
Oh no, that is the worst feeling. You were stuck in a small box with a stranger, and you did not say anything? That is so uncomfortable.
Exactly. I just looked at the floor. The silence was terrible. I realized that I did not know how to start the conversation or what to ask him.
Well, that is perfect for today's lesson. We are going to fix that problem right now. We need to use the power of WH questions.
WH questions. You mean words like who, what, where, when, and why? These are the keys to unlocking a good conversation, right?
Yes, these 5 words are magic. They turn a quiet elevator ride into a new friendship. Let's imagine a character to help us practice. Let's create a story.
Great idea. Let's imagine a man named Tom. He is at a party and he is standing alone. He wants to meet people, but he is nervous, just like I was yesterday.
Okay, so Tom is our character. He sees a woman standing near the food table. He walks over to her. What is the first thing he needs to ask?
He needs to start with who. He needs to know who she is. But he can't just say, "Who are you?" That sounds a little rude and aggressive, right?
You are right. Who are you is too direct. Instead, he should introduce himself and then ask for her name politely. He can say, "Hi, I'm Tom. What's your name?"
That is much better. It's simple and friendly. So the woman says, "Hi, I am Sarah." Now Tom needs to keep the conversation going.
This is where the where question is very powerful. It connects people to places. Tom can ask about her origin.
I know this one. He can ask, "Where are you from?" This is a classic question. It allows Sarah to talk about her hometown or her country.
Exactly. And if Sarah says, "I'm from New York," Tom can ask more questions about that place. It opens a door to many topics.
But wait, Bella, what if they are already in New York? Then that question might be a little boring. We need something more specific.
That is a very smart point. In that case, he can use where for the present moment. He can ask, "Where do you live now?" or "Where do you work?"
Where do you work is good. But let's move to the next power word, what. This is the most common word in English, isn't it?
Yes, it is. What is used for things and actions. If Tom wants to know about her job, he asks, "What do you do for a living?"
I love that phrase. What do you do for a living? It sounds very professional, but also casual. It's better than just saying, "What is your job?"
I agree. It feels more natural. Sarah might answer, "I'm a graphic designer." Now Tom has important information. He knows her name, her city, and her job.
Okay, but the conversation can still die here. If he just says, "Oh, cool," and stops talking, the awkward silence comes back.
No, we cannot let the silence come back. Tom needs to use when. This word helps us understand time and routines.
Routines are interesting. He could ask about her free time. Maybe he can ask, "When do you usually relax?" or "When do you have free time?"
Those are good, but let's make it more fun. Let's talk about hobbies. He can ask, "What do you do when you are not working?"
Ah, I see. You combined what and when. What do you do plus when you are not working. That is a very advanced strategy.
I like to mix them up. So Sarah says, when I am not working, I like to go hiking in the mountains.
Wow, hiking. That is an interesting hobby. Now Tom is really interested. He wants to know the reason behind this hobby.
This leads us to the most powerful word of all, why. This word asks for reasons, feelings, and stories. It goes deep.
Why is my favorite. It changes a short answer into a long story. Tom should ask, why do you like hiking?
Yes, and Sarah will answer with emotion. She might say, I like hiking because I love nature and it helps me clear my mind.
That is a beautiful answer. Now they are connecting on an emotional level. They are not just strangers anymore.
Exactly, and there is one more question word we cannot forget. It is not a WH word, but it is part of the family.
You are talking about how, right? HOW. It describes the way we do things. It is very useful for details.
Yes, how? Tom can ask, how often do you go hiking? This asks about frequency. It shows he is paying attention to the details.
How often is a great phrase. Sarah says, I go hiking once a month. Now Tom has a complete picture of Sarah.
Let's review the profile Tom built. He knows who she is, where she is from, what she does, why she likes it, and how often she does it.
It is amazing. He built a whole story just by asking 5 or 6 simple questions. He did not have to talk about himself too much.
That is the secret. When you ask questions, people think you are a great conversationalist. People love to talk about themselves.
That is so true. I usually talk too much when I'm nervous, but listening is actually more important than speaking in this situation.
So let's go back to your situation in the elevator yesterday. If you could go back in time, what would you do differently?
Well, first I would smile. Then I would say, Hi, I'm Peter. Do you live in this building? That is a where question, right?
Yes, that is perfect. It establishes a common location. And after he answers, what would you ask next?
I would probably ask, How long have you lived here? That uses how to check for time and duration.
See? That is so natural. You're not interrogating him like a police officer. You're just being a friendly neighbor.
I wish I had done that. Instead, I just stared at the numbers on the elevator buttons changing from 1 to 10. It was so long.
Don't worry about the past. You can try it next time. The important thing is to remember the structure. Keep it simple.
I think the hardest part for students is the grammar. For example, the auxiliary verbs like do and does in questions.
That is a good point. Remember the pattern. Question word plus auxiliary plus subject plus verb. For example, where do you live?
That formula helps a lot. What do you do? It's like a mathematical equation for English speaking.
It really is. And once you memorize the pattern, you can change the vocabulary to talk about anything. You can talk about food, travel, or sports.
Let's try one more example for our listeners. Imagine you are at a job interview. Tell me about yourself is the first thing they ask.
Oh, that is a high-pressure situation. In an interview, you answer the WH questions about yourself. You become the storyteller.
So if the manager asks, tell me about yourself, I should answer who, where, and what.
Yes, you could say, I am Peter. I'm from Chicago. I'm a content creator who loves education. You hit all the points quickly.
That is concise and strong. It gives a clear summary, and then I can explain why I want the job.
Exactly. I want this job because I am passionate about helping people learn. The why is your motivation.
This structure makes everything so much easier. It organizes my thoughts. I don't feel lost in the language anymore.
Structure gives you confidence. When you have confidence, you speak better. It's a cycle of success.
I feel ready to go out and talk to everyone now. I want to find that neighbor and ask him a million questions.
maybe start with just 1 or 2 questions. Don't scare him away. But yes, practice is the only way to improve.
You're right. Small steps. Okay, I think we have covered a lot of ground today. We really explored the tell me about yourself theme.
We certainly did. We went from awkward silence to a full conversation using who, what, where, when, why, and how.
Let's do a quick review for everyone listening. Today, we learned that who is for people and where is for places.
We also learned that what is for things or jobs, when is for time, why is for reasons, and how is for the way we do things.
And most importantly, we learned that asking questions is the best way to make friends and avoid silence.
Thank you all for listening to the Easy Way podcast. Go out there and ask someone a question today. See you next time.